some digital picture frame innovation. Think Mother's Day, maybe. Welcome back for another Techstination interview. I'm Fred Fishkin, and joining us from PhotoSpring is founder Charles Huang. Thank you for joining us, Charles.
Hi, Fred. Thank you for inviting me to be on your show today.
Tell us about PhotoSpring, what you're all about.
So PhotoSpring is a company that is focused on helping people get photos off of their phone, off of their cameras, memory cards, off of their computers, and in plain view in front of them, like you see here on this PhotoSpring. What we do is we make a digital photo frame, and the digital photo frame uses the most current technology in terms of being able to take advantage of Wi-Fi, smartphone apps, and web platforms where users can very easily send photos from their smartphones, from their computers, from their camera memory cards to display on the PhotoSpring. You'll see here I have a video going. We support both photos and videos, and users can very easily send photos to their own PhotoSpring if they're using it for themselves. They can also easily set it up at their parents' home. And when their parents have the PhotoSpring, they'll have it out on the countertop like this. They can send photos of the grandkids, send photos of any birthdays, anniversaries, special events, or just everyday photos just to cheer them up. When they send the photos over, it's really easy to send. And the photos will appear directly on the PhotoSpring at their parents' home. So their parents, they don't have to log into any accounts. They don't have to check their email. They don't have to do anything. They just have to look at it. And the photos, when they are received on the PhotoSpring, and they're received by Wi-Fi, they'll be able to see the photos, the new photos that are sent, and then all the photos in the collection that have been playing day in, day out.
Now, digital photo frames have been around for, gosh, years and years and years. I remember fairly low resolution ones at first that held your memory cards, compact flash back in those days. And so tell us about the need to update this technology and why there's a need for it, because people do carry around their smartphones all day long today.
Yeah, so it's funny that you say that, and I'm glad that you appreciate where we came from with the PhotoSpring. With the digital photo frame technology. So our management team has over 20 years of experience in the digital photo frames, and we were there with exactly as you mentioned, with the first generation of digital photo frame products. They had a little SD card slot. You would just put an SD card, or rather, you would load photos from your computer onto the SD card. You would put the SD card into the photo frame, and that's what you had to look at. And every time you wanted to update it, you would have to take the card out, plug it into your computer, copy the photos over from your computer, and put it back into the photo frame at that time. And it was just a cumbersome process. What we found back then, this was like maybe in the, I want to say like early 2000s, right? Well, it's been like almost 20 years ago. About 18 years ago is when that first phase of digital photo frames passed over. And what we found at that time was that a lot of people, they would get it, they would get excited, they would fill up a card, put it in, and that was it. The photos never got refreshed. Photos became, it just became the same set of photos showing over and over again. And what we found is that a lot of the users just they got used to it. It just became a fixture in their home. They didn't even pay attention to it. And sooner or later, they even forgot to turn on the device, and they weren't able to appreciate their photos anymore. With this new technology that we're doing now, and the PhotoSpring, actually, what's really fun about PhotoSpring is we created basically our own platform around this. So the user interface on the PhotoSpring, the user interface that you see on the PhotoSpring, this is completely our own design. The cloud-based platform that we use US-based cloud servers, and that helps to coordinate sending from the phone up into the cloud and then back down to the frame. Those are completely our own networks that we designed and we operate. But really, the need for this is that people are taking so many photos now, right? With the smartphone, it's just so easy to take some photos, right? Photos are cheap now, right? Back in the day, we had to take the film out, go develop it, and out of 36 photos, maybe you got like 12 that were good photos. But digital pictures
Geez, you're a better photographer than me if you got 12.
And then you always get the black one and the blurry one, and yeah, it was a process back then. But now with digital cameras, you know, photos are basically free. People take as many shots as they want, you know. They'll go through, they'll delete the ones that they don't like, they'll keep the ones that they do like, and that's great. But the problem is that a lot of people, when they take the photos on their phone, or some people that use like kind of the point and shoot digital cameras, they don't get off of the phone, or they don't get off of the camera memory card, and they don't have a chance to see them every day. So the benefit of the PhotoSpring is, you know, in a very concise term, it lets you get the photos out of your phone out in front of you in plain sight. You know, I like to say your photos are in plain sight, because you can have your photos out here and every day you'll be able to see the photos. And, you know, otherwise the photos would be stuck on your phone in your pocket. And, you know, you really don't have a chance to see them every day. So I would say, to say it in just a very concise term, it's just convenience. It's just very convenient putting the photos out in front of you, and then you can see them. And then on top of that, it's the sharing component, right? If I take photos of my kids and send them over to their grandparents, you know, their grandparents can see the photos without having to do anything. They don't have to go to Facebook or Instagram or anything else. It's just the photos just appear there.
And that can be a pretty big deal. Instead of sending a photo by email to somebody else's phone, a grandparent's phone, and hoping they're going to be able to download it and see it and not run into problems.
Right.
All they're doing is you put the frame in and it's connected. You can share the connection with family members and give them access, and the photos just appear.
Yeah, and so we designed PhotoSpring to be as easy as possible for even the non-technical users. If I'll use myself as an example. I buy this, I'm gonna send it to my mom. She receives the package in her home. The only thing that she needs to do a few simple steps. She needs to turn it on. She needs to connect it to her Wi-Fi, and basically that's two steps. One, it's recognizing, you know, out of all the Wi-Fi access points that list out, she just has to choose the one that she knows is hers, and then enter the password that she has written down on a notepad somewhere. And then after that, she answers a few questions on the screen. She puts in her name. She puts in an email address if she has it. If she doesn't, she can put in, she can put in the email address that I use for her. And after she's all set up, she's got the Wi-Fi connected, I can start sending in photos right away. So the key principle of the PhotoSpring design is just easy. We want to make everything easy for the users so that they can focus on enjoying the photos and videos and not have to worry about all the technical hubbub.
One of the things that you've done that is pretty unique, I think, and innovative is to put a rechargeable battery into one of these models. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so we actually we are, I'm comfortable saying we're the first digital photo frame that has a battery installed. And I want to say also now, as far as I know, we're the only digital photo frame that has a battery operated model. Here, I'll show you here. This is a bit low. This is the model that we have with the battery. And you'll see, again, it's a 10-inch photo frame. The battery is back here. It's here in this compartment. It's user accessible. If you have any need to access the battery, you can access it here. And we designed this. This is what we call the PhotoSpring 10 Premium. And we've designed it with a magnetic connector. And it's a little bit hard to see in the light, but there's a magnetic connector here where I'm going to tilt this down a little bit, where you see when you have it on the stand and you're walking by, you see a picture. I'm out of the shot. You see a picture that catches your attention. And you're like, oh, I remember that time. That was so fun. And you want to see other pictures around that time. All you can do is pick it up, the battery, I'm sorry, the connector will just automatically disconnect, right? So it's designed to be easy to use. And then you have your PhotoSpring. You can take it over to the couch, sit down, view your pictures on the couch, swipe through the photos. Videos come up, you can enjoy the videos. And then, this is my kids at the pool. And then when you're done, right, all you do is you put it back into the stand, take the little magnetic connector and just get it nearby and it'll snap into place, and it's back in its charging mode. You see here, I'll show you. When you snap it in, it shows you that it's charging.
How many pictures can be stored on this, Charles? And there is expandable storage as well?
So this, the current models that we have will store, I feel comfortable saying it'll store over 10,000 photos. Most likely you can get close to 12,000 photos. And the reason I'm estimating that is because it really depends on how big your photos are. So PhotoSpring will take the photos, it will process them to make them optimal to display on the PhotoSpring while conserving the file size and respecting the amount of memory that it has. But some people are just going to take larger photos, and then so they'll have higher resolution photos on the PhotoSpring, but it'll hold less, right? For most people that are just taking smartphone photos, they can probably get over 10,000 photos easily, probably close to 12,000 photos.
Videos, of course, would take up more storage.
The larger photos will take up more storage, right?
And the videos, right?
And videos. And so one thing that's really interesting about videos is that we have really strong support for videos, right? And we support videos up to 1 gigabyte in file size. And what that means in everyday terms is that you can take a standard 5-minute video that you took on your smartphone, and you could load the whole 5-minute video to your PhotoSpring. When the PhotoSpring gets the video, it'll get it in the full resolution so that the video is displayed with the best quality possible. So we don't do anything in terms of downsizing the video. We don't do anything in terms of making the video shorter. I've seen some places where they'll cut videos to like 10 seconds or 30 seconds. We'll let you do the whole video up to 1 gigabyte in file size. So that's a really nice feature on the PhotoSpring, and I think we do a really good job on kind of stressing the video support, because so many people are taking videos now, with the smartphones, and we just try to make that as easy as possible. But going back to what you also mentioned about the capacity and expandable, the internal capacity is not expandable. But what we do have on these new designs is we have a slot for USB memory, USB flash drives, and an SD card. So what these slots are going to do is that the SD card will let you take an SD card straight from your digital camera, and you'll be able to plug it in, and you'll be able to import those photos and videos from your digital camera, right? The point and shoot digital cameras or the digital SLRs. You'll be able to upload those photos into your PhotoSpring. So you can skip a step from having to go to your computer to get the photos to the PhotoSpring. And then we have a USB port here where you can connect a USB flash drive. And what that'll do is that'll let you use that as kind of a backup archive device. So all the photos that you get on your PhotoSpring can be backed up onto the USB flash drive. And then when they're backed up to the USB flash drive, one is if anything happens, if you drop the PhotoSpring and the screen is cracked and you can't see your photos, you can feel relieved that you have the photos on the USB flash drive, and you can either take that out, reserve it, and then get the PhotoSpring fixed, or you can, or anytime you want, you can take the USB flash drive, take it to your computer, and you'll be able to see all the photos that you've received on your computer. Now, what's really interesting about that is that we have some, I like to call PhotoSpring a community, right? We have some members of our PhotoSpring community in their family, they'll have like 6 different PhotoSpring units, and they'll have maybe 6, 7, 8, 9. They'll have a group of people connected to one PhotoSpring, right? So everybody's connected to grandma's PhotoSpring, and grandma has all these people sending photos to her from her different grandkids, from her nephews, nieces. So grandma on her PhotoSpring has all these photos coming in from all these different people. And then that's where the idea of having a way to back up all of your photos onto a USB thumb drive gets interesting, because those photos are arriving on grandma's PhotoSpring, but she doesn't have the originals, right? Well, she does have the originals, but they're on her PhotoSpring. When she can get them on the USB thumb drive, it's a nice place for her to keep them there for safekeeping, again, in case if anything happens, or if at any time she wants to get an additional PhotoSpring, she can take that USB thumb drive, put it into the new PhotoSpring, and basically clone the what she had on this PhotoSpring to a new PhotoSpring. One more point on that: the SD card and USB thumb drive features, they are on the PhotoSpring now. The functionality is in development, and we expect to launch that in July. So that touches on an interesting point, is that the PhotoSpring software, and again, we control, this is our platform, the user interface, everything. We designed this internally at PhotoSpring. So what that means is that we periodically send over-the-air updates, and with over-the-air updates, we implement new features, improvements, anything that we need to do to make your experience with the PhotoSpring better. We can do that through over-the-air updates. So the SD and the USB thumb drive features, we're planning to launch those in July of this year, in about 2 months, 3 months.
Terrific. And you can easily put photos on here by connecting to the internet through your computer or a mobile device, using the apps that you have for iOS and Android, making it simple. So tell us about the pricing of the different models you have and availability.
So one thing that you mentioned about how to send photos to the PhotoSpring, there are 3 ways to do that. One is that you can give the PhotoSpring an email address. So basically, you'll name the PhotoSpring, abc@emailphotospring.com. And then so if I have this frame called abc@emailphotospring.com, I can give that email to my family, my friends, and then they can just send an email with photo attachments to abc@emailphotospring.com, and then those photos will automatically be delivered to my PhotoSpring. So the first way that you can send photos is by email, just plain email attachments. The second way is that we have apps for Android and iPhone available, and then you can run the apps on your smartphones. You can select from your camera roll and send big batches of photos and video. And again, PhotoSpring has really strong support for video. You can send that through the app, and it's really easy to use. And 3, we have a web browser available. If you go to my.photospring.com, that's where you can create your PhotoSpring account. And with the PhotoSpring account, you can log into any web browser on your computer, on your phone, on your tablet, and then you can send photos just as easily as using the smartphone apps through web browser. Availability, we have this available on Amazon.com. The PhotoSpring, the PhotoSpring frame, here. This is the PhotoSpring frame. A little bit different is that this is the non-battery model, but it still has the SD card USB port support that will be implemented in July. It has a little spring kickstand that you can use to adjust the display angles of the device. It has a smaller mat than it has a smaller white mat than the version with the battery. And this is called the PhotoSpring 10 frame. Currently, it's available on Amazon for $139. And then both of our designs here, you'll see this is also the PhotoSpring frame. But the difference here is that I've taken off the black mat. So if you want to take off the black mat, This is what it looks like for a more modern, contemporary look. Surprisingly, the style without the frame is rather popular. And then again, with this, I can also display them in portrait because it seems like with smartphones, a lot of people are taking all their photos in portrait. So the PhotoSpring does support portrait placement so that your photos will appear like this. Let's see. So that is the PhotoSpring 10 frame, and that's available on Amazon.com for $139. It's also available on our own company store if you go to photospring.com. And then the other model that we looked at before with the battery, this is the PhotoSpring 10 Premium. And again, here I'm showing you both the version with the frame and without the frame. You'll see that this has a wider white mat around the picture and the frame. It kind of gives it a more bold look. And again, you can put this in portrait as well. And then this is the one, this is what it looks like without the frame around it. And again, this one can also be placed in, this one can also be placed in portrait orientation as well. The PhotoSpring 10 Premium is available also on Amazon.com. The current pricing for that is $169. And as well, it's available on photospring.com for purchase.
Once again, the website is photospring.com. Charles Huang, thank you for taking the time with us.
Fred, I appreciate this opportunity. All we want to do is we want to help people be able to enjoy their photos and be able to share their photos so families can stay together. Thank you, Fred.